Hello and welcome back to Park Live Sport. Here we are, I'm with Shaka and Tom, and today we're going to be looking at the Premier League All-Star Game. I know that might sound weird, but what we're doing today is we're going to take what the NBA's All-Star Game last week gave us and view it on a Premier League stage. So what we have done, similar to the NBA of course and other American sports, is we have divided the Premier League into two conferences, a Northern Conference with teams like Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, Newcastle, all the teams on the northern side of the Premier League, as well as the south, with obviously the teams from London and Norwich, Southampton, Brighton's other teams from that kind of area. So, how are we going to get the players, you ask? We used the WhoScored.com 2019-20 player ratings to choose the best 11 players of the subs, and then the following best 7 as the reserves. But players like Alisson and Riyad Mahrez, however, who you may have thought have had excellent seasons this year, which I agree they have not made it into our selections, as one of the criteria we used to select the players was they had to play at least 75% of the team's games. So Liverpool have played 26 games this season, meaning you have had to play 19 to qualify. Alisson has played 18, so sadly misses out.
Just one off. I'm sure he would have been our first pick.
For instance, of course. So, our two captains here are going to be picking teams. We will use a coin toss to decide who shall have the first pick. Tom?
For me, tails never fails. We'll go with that.
I was going to go for heads anyway, so that's fine with me.
Absolutely fine.
It's tails.
Tails. So Tom, you have the first pick to kick us off in our Fantasy 2019-20 Premier League All-Star.
Sure, and I was delighted to have the first pick, as the statistical number one from WhoScored.com was the same person that I'm going to get for my first draft, and I'm going to go with Manchester City's Kevin De Bruyne, who I feel is the best player in the Premier League at the moment and has been for a while. I feel like, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he would bring to my team and pulling the strings midfield and playing in the attackers and the wide men, which is something that he's been doing all year long for Manchester City.
As Tom alluded to, a player well worthy of the first pick. I think he's on about 16 assists so far. The Premier League record is of course 20, so he's got half a season to do that. He was the number one ranked player on WhoScored.com player ratings with about 7.9 out of 10, I believe, on average. Just crazy. Some of the European front runners, like of course Lionel Messi, Mbappe, Ciro Immobile, Lewandowski, who are all about 8 point something. So Shaka, how do you follow that up?
Well, for my first pick, I decided to go for who I think is the best player in the league. I've gone for Sadio Mane. He's the main cog in that Liverpool front three. I think when Salla and Firmino have days off, Mane is the one they rely on. He can score, he can assist, he can carry that whole Liverpool side. We saw he got Champions League last year. I mean, what else can this boy do? That's my first pick.
Well worthy, of course. Joint Premier League top scorer last year, trophy-laden season, 3 trophies with Liverpool, and runner-up with Senegal in the AFCON, of course.
His achievements speak for himself.
A well-worthy second pick.
Very good second pick, and interestingly to see that you've gone for a Liverpool attacking player, focusing on their strengths. For me, for my second pick, I'm going to focus on the Liverpool defensive strengths, and that's served them so well for their long unbeaten run, which has, recently been ended. But however, that long stint of winnings and draws was made possible with Virgil van Dijk, who I feel is the best centre-back in the world at the minute. And the Ballon d'Or honour being shortlisted for that speaks for itself. Just is there a better centre-back in the Premier League right now? I don't think there is, and that's the main reason why I've chosen him for my number 2 pick.
Great pick. He would have been my number 1 choice, I feel. How do you follow that up?
I go to Leicester, and I keep it defensive. It's not quite Van Dijk. I've gone for a fullback in Ricardo Pereira. Very tricky on the ball, very confident on the ball for a fullback, but also a very tough tackler and one of the better ball interceptors in the league, I think, from the fullback position, and no-brainer for me. That's my second pick.
Great player, influential in Leicester's first half of the season, still going during the second half. Tom, your third pick?
My third pick, one of the players that has been linking up with you, your first pick so much this season. I've gone with Mohamed Salla. Again, I feel like he's the main talisman in the Liverpool lineup. There'll be some chemistry between him and Van Dijk, and I feel that Mohamed Salla is total goal threat. I'd have him in the right wing, right midfielder position as opposed to an out-and-out striker. I feel like he's be more effective creating chances, and he'll also be able to score more as well.
Great player, one of the Premier League's best, has been for the past couple of seasons. How do you again follow that up?
I keep it Liverpool, but I go to Everton. I'll keep it Mersey, but I'll go for Richarlison, the Brazilian, the best header of a ball I've seen in a long time. He's come into the Premier League with unlimited confidence. Who knows what this kid's ceiling is? And if he keeps playing like he has this year, I think you can see him in all-star teams for the future many times.
It's an interesting pick, I'd have to say. I will move on to my number 4 now, are we?
Your number 4.
Yeah, and I feel like we're actually going to go for a Southern player for the first time. I'm going to pick Harry Kane as my target man, my main man up top, and the first player to be chosen out of the Southern teams. And I feel like he's definitely going to be the man to get on the end of the attacks. And
get on the end of everything, isn't it, with Harry Kane? Yeah,
Harry Kane for number 4, my pick.
And I'll go complete opposite of a striker for my 4th pick, but I will keep it Southern. I'm going for Byrne. He's my favourite keeper in the Premier League at the moment, especially this season. What a season he's had. Maybe not so much for Arsenal, but Byrne, shot stopper, behind the sticks. He's the one for me.
Great choice. First keeper of the draft taken as well. A still key position, but obviously not one you want to stock on too much. Tom, are you going to follow up a keeper with a keeper?
I want to, but I don't think I'm ready to do that just now. For my number 5th pick, I need to strengthen my defence a bit more. And before we go, I'm going to pick Digne. I feel like for Everton, he's been an absolute rock in defence, and I'm lucky. I feel like I needed to get him before you picked him up, to be honest. And so Van Dijk and Digne, Merseyside potential, but I feel like on his own, and I've put him in the right back position. Might not be his standout position, but I feel he's versatile enough to do a job and link up with, his Liverpool rivals, so to speak. But Digne for me.
Great player, had a bit of a journeyman's career around Europe to start, but he's really finding a home now in Everton. Amazing that he could keep such world-beaters as Andy Robertson that we think of out of the team, of course, because he does have a higher rating on who scored player ratings. Right.
Yeah.
How do you follow up Digne?
Number 5, Jack Grealish. Say what you want about Maddison, say what you want about Grealish this season. They're both putting up similar numbers. The only difference for me is that Grealish is in a much worse side. I think it's hard to keep talking about Grealish and bringing up Maddison, but we'll be honest, Grealish has been doing it for years. Grealish has proven, and I don't know about Tom, I don't know about Lucas, but I'm pretty sure this is his last season in a Villa strip, at least for a while.
I think it's only a matter of time before the big clubs come looking for his talents. Like, I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer likes to utilise younger players, and I'd see him slot into a Man United shirt before not too long.
It's very true.
We're moving on to my next pick, and I've gone for the opposite wing back, and I've gone for Cesar Azpilicueta. I feel that man is he's he'll be a leader in the dressing room, 100%, and I feel like he's probably one of the most versatile defenders in the world, and if I needed to slot him anywhere else, he'd be able to drop right in. He's got experience at centre-back, and he's also got experience going forward, and he's got a few goals and to his name within recent seasons. So for me, Azpilicueta.
Great player, very solid. We'll have to look out for where he's going to actually line him up later when we see the kind of tactics you guys are going to employ.
Yeah.
Right, how do you follow that up?
I'm going to go for a full-back. I'll go for Sergio Aurier at Spurs. Mourinho's led that revival of the whole squad, really. Not sure Potts really got the best out of Aurier, even though he's the one who brought him in. I think that Moo likes him a lot, and I think he's a phenomenal tackler. I mean, he commits to every ball, and whether it sees him pick up a yellow or pick up a red, I don't think that matters when you have the quality of Aurier on your team. I'd pick him at full-back. I picked him as my 6th. Sergio Aurier.
Great player, he's going to be key no matter how you play in this draft. Full-backs and defenders, there's not a lot of them. So
No.
You've done very well to pick up some of the more high-profile names this early.
Yeah, yes. High-profile names. They've gone early essentially, haven't they? Because with the who scored ratings, a few names that are could possibly be a bit unheard of have been picked up. And for me personally, my goalkeeper's just that. I've gone with Dubravka. You know, if his stats are anything to go by, I'll definitely be looking to a positive for him to run in between the sticks. And yeah, I feel like out of the goalkeeping options, I'm happy with having Dubravka.
It's a good pick-up. For my 7th pick, I've gone for Kaglar Soyuncu from Leicester, the Turkish man with the very large head. Not talking about Harry Maguire, obviously, he just left Leicester. He's a big Turkish stopper, that's how I would describe him, and he fits that role at Leicester. I'm a really big fan of Leicester's backline, as you can see by my picks. Big fan of that Leicester side overall. I think he was a great pick-up. I'm excited to see what kind of legacy he leaves in the Prem.
You're having a very good season, of course. Breakout season after the departure of Maguire in the summer, but very worthy of his spot in the team. Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to go back into my attacking area of the pitch, and number 8, I'm surprised he hasn't been picked up yet. I've gone with Son of Tottenham. Yeah, you know, I feel like he's definitely someone who can do more than a job. Like, I feel like he's someone that can be looked to. He's a game winner. He's popped up now and again to score essential goals for Tottenham, and I feel like he needs the partnership with him and Harry Kane up front will certainly work wonders for my Premier League team.
Yeah, likewise, I'm surprised he went this low.
Yeah.
One of the key scorers in the ratings, of course.
Delighted to have picked him up, to be fair.
I mean, Sonaldo, it's a good pick. I'll go one better with Adama Traore. Now, he might not be as established as Son, but I mean, we can all say that we've seen him this season just do stuff you wouldn't believe. He's a take-on machine. He's a one-on-one machine. His dribble completion is out of this world. And Lucas, how did he rate on who scored? How did it look?
Traore.
He was actually second behind De Bruyne, so
there you go.
in
Speaks
the
for
ratings,
itself.
he has apparently been the second best player in the Premier League this year. So it's amazing for him personally, and amazing you've managed to get him this low in the draft.
Over to me. For my formation, I'm looking to incorporate a 4-1-2-1-2. Those familiar with generic FIFA career modes will be aware of this. And I've gone with Tammy Abraham in the English partnership with Harry Kane. I think that will work wonders. And that guy's like he's able to get the final touch on anything. Like some crosses that he just gets a toe out to and it ends up in the back of the net for Chelsea. He's done that a handful of times this season. The lad's got pace to burn. Like he's just coming into his peak. And I feel like the only way is up for Tammy Abraham. That's why I've picked him.
Talented young Englishman, and I'll take another talented young Englishman. I'll take James Ward-Prowse. He's been at it for years. It feels like we've known about him, about his corners, about his free kicks, about his set pieces, but this year in the Prem he's kind of had to take a more senior position in that Southampton team that they've obviously been waiting for him to take, and he's kind of grown into it. He can kind of do everything all over the pitch, but his passing and his set pieces in particular, I'll take him. I'll take James Ward-Prowse. I'll be happy with James Ward-Prowse as my 9th pick.
Great player, of course, knocking on the door for one of those central midfield spots for England in the Euros. I think he's had a great season. Again, well worthy of being here. Tom, getting down to the final.
Yeah, definitely. What else do I need? I need a centre-back, and looking at the first team selections for the centre-backs, the only person who really stands out to me left is Dan Byrne. And he's someone who might have flown under a few people's radars. Admittedly, he did for me. I had to do a little bit of research into the player, but I feel like he's built and he's got a lot of strength to his name. He'll be able to take down the majority of like nippy strikers who try to get the last touch. And I feel like Dan Byrne, he's an unsung hero for Brighton, and I'm sure it'll be a good asset to my team.
I'm going to Wolves again, but I'm going for Diego Rico. He's my fullback. I'm going to go for him. I mean, what can I say? Ball interceptions, phenomenal. Just lightning fast. I'd pick him in a heartbeat again. You know what I mean?
Oh, took you 10 heartbeats.
Very true. It did take me 10 more marks.
Getting very nippy now, of course.
Well, it's competitive. It's competitive.
Yeah, a lot of these are not big names, of course, but again, they have had good seasons, so they do deserve to be here.
You know,
Tom, I believe should be your final pick.
This is So this is a player who's going to fit in my centre or defensive mid role. Again, had to do a bit of research from my sources. Shaka told me that he's a man mountain. I've gone with Billing. And Bournemouth's centre mids, and wins the majority of aerial battles, and he's also got tricky feet, as so I've been told, and I feel like he'd be able to get the supply to Kevin De Bruyne, and he could maybe start the attacking play and allow the four that surround De Bruyne to really seal the deal.
I think Byrne is a great choice.
Yep. And that means you should have the last pick of the starters.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to go for Norwich's main man. No, not Pookie. I'm going to go for Bundia.
Oh, okay.
7 assists in the Prem this season, no goals. He plays in the same position as Adama Traore, but they do such different things. Imagine Traore as a pace machine, as a technical. He's going to beat you in a 1v1. Bundia, his role is more to pass the ball and to kind of wipe out whole defensive lines with one pass, and he's been doing that this season. Why not have him as a creative playmaker on this team, regardless of how Norwich have been? He deserves it.
Certainly does. Obviously, Norwich have not had the greatest of seasons, but I'm sure if they go down or not, we'll see him in the Premier League again, because he's very worthy.
Definitely.
With that final selection, that marks the end of the starters. Both of you should have 11 players.
Yes.
So let's just, after 22 selections, let's just have a round-up of some of your teams. What kind of style you think you're going to play, and what kind of system as well. So Tom, let's start with you.
Oh as I mentioned earlier, I'm looking to do a 4-1-2-1-2 formation, really utilise the two strikers, and I feel like the two strikers are going to work off each other well. We've got Tammy Abraham, his electric pace, and his he's always like, if you chip a ball over the top, which I feel Kevin De Bruyne is made for that, he's always going to outpace the last defender, and I feel Harry Kane, he's a real target man. He can hold up a ball well, and he can get a shot away from distance, and 9 times out of 10 that shot will go on target. So Kevin De Bruyne, Tammy Abraham, Harry Kane, and the pace and the creativity of Mo Salah and Heung-min Son will certainly be a force to be reckoned with, and the quality of Van Dijk in defence, keeping it all together.
But
it's
not as good as my team.
Oh.
It's not as good as my team.
Okay.
You've got Jack Grealish, Bundia giving Richarlison and Mane the consistent deliveries. For me, that's something else. You've got Traore working in the background, as well as that Leicester defence that I really like. Hey, Leno in the sticks as well. So I think they give Tom's team a really good game.
A really good game, but we would win.
Hey.
As with any All-Star game and game in general, there are reserves. In the NBA All-Star game, I know they're roll on, roll off, so perhaps we could incorporate that in this as well, if it were to happen. But we will need some, first of all. We've done this off camera for time purposes, so boys, if I could just ask you for your picks. And of course, they were done in order, so the order they read in was how they were picked. So Tom, let's start with you.
Yes, again, there are some bigger names on the bench than in some of the starting positions, just of how it's happened on WhoScored.com. And so my bench includes Trent Alexander-Arnold and Roberto Firmino representing Liverpool, and Dele Alli from Tottenham, Willian from Chelsea, and Wilfried Zaha and Kasper Schmeichel from Leicester. So the majority is actually
strong bench.
Yeah,
very strong bench.
You'd expect some. Oh, and also Steve Cook from Bournemouth. Slipped under the radar there, but he's my last man there.
Very strong team. Obviously, you had the first pick this time.
Yes.
As the rules go, what subs did you manage to grab?
So I went for Aaron Wan-Bissaka straight off the bat. Love him. Favourite fullback in the league. Great player. James Maddison, Wyatt Grealish on his own when you can have both of them. I'll take both. Marcus Rashford, he's finally gone from that youth player, that scoring little youth player at United, to maybe leading the line for the future. And then I went for Lewis Dunk at Brighton, Wilfred Ndidi, Troy Deeney at Watford, and Ramsdale at Bournemouth. He's my backup keeper. That's my defence.
Very strong. So with both teams starting 11s and subs all confirmed, that means the all-star draft is complete. We'll get a poll going on Twitter, we'll get the graphics up to show you, and you can tell us which team you think is stronger and who would win should this match ever take place. Stay tuned on Park Life Sport and keep watching the live blog today for all your sports news across Gloucestershire and the rest of the world. Thank you for watching, guys. Goodbye. And with that, that marks the end of the starting 11s. All are to be complete. But however, as with any All-Star game and game in general, there are reserves. In the NBA All-Star game, I know they're roll on, roll off, so perhaps we could incorporate that in this as well, if it were to happen. But we will need some, first of all. We've done this off camera for time purposes, so boys, if I could just ask you for your picks. And of course, they were done in order, so the order they read in was how they were picked. So Tom, let's start with you.
Yes, again, there are some bigger names on the bench than in some of the starting positions, just of how it's happened on WhoScored.com. And yeah, so my bench includes Trent Alexander-Arnold and Roberto Firmino representing Liverpool, and Dele Alli from Tottenham, Willian from Chelsea, and Wilfried Zaha and Kasper Schmeichel from Leicester. So yeah, the majority is actually
strong bench.
Yeah,
very strong bench.
You'd expect some. Oh, and also Steve Cook from Bournemouth. Slipped under the radar there, but yeah, he's my last man there.
Very strong team. Obviously, you had the first pick this time.
Yes.
As the rules go, what subs did you manage to grab?
So I went for Aaron Wan-Bissaka straight off the bat. Love him. Favourite fullback in the league. Great player. James Maddison, Wyatt Grealish on his own when you can have both of them. I'll take both. Marcus Rashford, he's finally gone from that youth player, that scoring little youth player at United, to maybe leading the line for the future. And then I went for Lewis Dunk at Brighton, Wilfried Ndidi, Troy Deeney at Watford, and Ramsdale at Bournemouth. He's my backup keeper. That's my defence.
Very strong. So with both teams starting 11s and subs all confirmed, that means the All-Star draft is complete. We'll get a poll going on Twitter, we'll get the graphics up to show you, and you can tell us which team you think is stronger and who would win should this match ever take place. Stay tuned on Park Life Sport and keep watching the live blog today for all your sports news across Gloucestershire and the rest of the world. Thank you for watching, guys. Goodbye.